Today I want to teach you the Enlightenment technique, the technique that's done and taught on the Enlightenment Intensive. Now, normally this is done over 3 days. There's 4 lectures in those 3 days, and then there's little bits of hints at the beginning of dyads. So there's really, 5 or more hours of instruction on this technique in the Enlightenment Intensive, which is more understandable the further along you are on the intensive. So this is going to approximate that a little bit anyway, and it'll fall short, but it's the basic idea, and a lot of people will be able to take off with it and do this technique. So that's great. So on the intensive, you're working with a partner, and this is the description for how to do it with a partner, but within that is information on how you can do that on your own. So with a partner, you take turns being a speaking partner and a listening partner. So all this is explained in the video on the Enlightenment Intensive. We're going to go with the instruction, tell me what you are. It's one of the primary instructions. There are usually 4. A lot of people use only 2. Who am I and what am I? But as that is a question, it is given to the speaking partner as an instruction, because that instruction gives them some energy. It gives them a thing to do. It like directs them, so it helps them direct their attention. So as this listening partner, I would say, tell me what you are, and then I would shut up and just be there and listen to you quietly, without commenting, without nodding or smiling or anything, as best I can. I mean, sometimes they're funny, and you have to laugh, but that's just normal reactions. So other than that, nothing. And that gives the energy to your partner as well, to have somebody being there for them. It gives that energy to them to overcome their mind, because their mind has the same amount of power as they do. So it's hard to battle the mind on your own. So anyway, the person that's speaking receives the instruction, and then they go in and they contemplate. Now they can contemplate by thinking to themselves, okay, what am I? And what will happen is that something will come up. And whatever that something is, it will come up, and they will communicate that to their partner and tell them what they are and what's come up. And then they'll finish telling them that, and then they'll go back and contemplate again. And they'll just keep doing that for 5 minutes. A bell will ring, and somebody will say, thank your partner. The listening partner says, thank you. That's their acknowledgement for all their work that they've done. The speaking partner will then tell their partner, tell me who you are. Tell me what you are, whatever their instruction is. And you go back and forth like that for the 40 minutes, and then the dyad's over. So when you're actually doing the technique, what you do is you start off by focusing in on what you most appear to be in the moment. So whatever that is, and at first it's superficial stuff, like, okay, I'm my job, I'm my relationship with my partner, I'm my relationship with my family, whatever that is, whatever those things are the most obvious to you at the beginning. But as you go deeper, as you continue to go deeper, you'll start to get to stuff like what I am is this observer that's observing myself speaking right now. That's just an example. It's not necessarily the case for you, but whatever that is. So whatever it is, you communicate it. And then you go back, and so I've communicated, okay, I'm the observer. And so I'll go back then and I'll contemplate, okay, well, what am I that is the observer? So you see, now that's a little deeper. I'm taking that piece of information I came up with before and using that to go back in and focus in again on what am I. And so then maybe I'm a bored observer after that, or maybe I'm a dispassionate observer, or whatever comes up. And eventually you'll just keep going deeper and deeper. Okay, so a little deeper into the technique, I'm contemplating what I am in the moment, starting with what I most appear to be. And that is the intention phase of it. I want to know what that is. I'm going in this direction. I What is that? I really, really want to know. And you'll see on the intensive, people get this seriousness to themselves. They just get very serious, and they're very, very focused in on what is that exactly. What is it that is that? And then the second part of the technique is to be open to anything, because you don't have any idea. You have no clue what that is. And really, you don't know. So it could be anything. It could be I can't even think of an obscure example. Uh, I'm everything that is. You know, it could be that you get enlightened into experiencing yourself as everything that is. I'm not saying that's an experience. I'm not saying it's not, but it could be. And whatever the words are that you have that come up as a result of having an experience, a direct experience like that, or an enlightenment experience, that's just another term we use. Um, the words don't mean anything. It's the essence behind it. So I'll get to that in a moment. So anyway, that's the two parts. It's the intention and the openness. So that's the main thing to understand here, is that you're really focusing in, you're being aware, and being present with yourself. That could be considered mindfulness. So you're mindful of yourself. Um, Mindfulness is a good example of that openness, that being present with yourself. Um, that direction of paying attention. You know, I said openness, I know, a moment ago, but it's really more the intention side of it. The mindfulness is more the intention of being present with yourself. And so there's that intention, which it's more like boring a hole through the mind. It bores a hole through the mind around that area of what am I. It doesn't clear the whole mind. It just opens up a pathway to that center, that bit, that absoluteness in the middle. That comes up when you have that direct experience. But that's what that is. But it's the openness as well with that. So you have to have the intention and the openness. So that's the main thing. Like I said, that's 5 or 6 hours worth of instruction on an enlightenment intensive, and that's not even counting. There's individual time when you talk to somebody that's one of the staff on there. You talk to them, and they'll guide you even further. You know, they'll take whatever's coming up with you, what's happening with you, and help you to refine that technique. And the technique, by the way, is self-correcting. If you go off in one direction a little bit because you're contemplating what am I, you notice, okay, well, what I am is just thinking over here about this song I heard, you know, when I was a kid, or whatever. And so you'll bring yourself back. You'll keep bringing yourself back to that presence of what you most appear to be in the moment. And by the way, that's not even really spoken of much until the third day for most intensives. That coming back specifically to that thing you most appear to be in the moment. It's spoken of in general, but it's really drilled in on the third day. It takes a while to get focused in on the intensive, on the technique, and your ability to do that increases. So there's your brief explanation of it. Wow, I did it in 9 minutes there. And, kind of amazing that it's really that simple, but it's that complicated as well. The mind throws up barriers. It throws up these things in the way. The mind does not want to get enlightened, because in that moment of enlightenment, the mind ceases to exist. And it's only for a moment. The mind comes back. So that's okay, mind. It's okay. You'll be back. But it doesn't like that. It doesn't like giving things up. So anyway, there's the enlightenment technique. Try it. If you have a friend you can do that with, you can sit down and set a 5-minute timer and take turns and try it. That's the best way to do it, really. But you can do it on your own. On the intensive, there's times when you do it on your own. So anyway, give it a try, and let me know how that works for you, and ask any questions you have about it. I really like questions. I'm happy to go into great detail, especially if you're interested. Okay, you have a great day. Thanks for watching. There are a lot more videos like this coming out over the next few months and years on yoga, yoga philosophy, spirituality, meditation, and more. But I can't do this without your help. Would you consider donating to help defer the costs? It would be greatly appreciated. And you can subscribe to Kalidasa.com so you know when anything new comes out. The links are below. My name is Kalidasa, a longtime yogi and yoga teacher, and now I am presenting some of what I have learned over the last few decades. My desire here is for you to find value for your life. And please ask questions and give comments. They help inspire what to present.